All right. Today, I want to talk about something that is very, very important. If you are somebody who is looking into real estate, okay, you have intention of investing in real estate now or in the future, and it's something that is very, very obvious. It's something we've all seen happen, but very few persons have taken note of it. And this is the development cycle of real estate in every city. Okay, and we'll start from Lagos because whether we like it or not, Lagos is the king of the Nigerian real estate sector. Lagos is the pioneer of the Nigerian real estate sector. And one thing Lagos has been able to do is to move from the uh, the beginning phase, the pioneer phase, the frontier phase, where the market is ripe and lands are in vast land are available. You know, people can purchase land at almost zero to nothing, and everybody could easily get land. And some persons took advantage of that phase and rushed into buying properties in Lagos. Okay, now in this phase there are limitations to it because there's limited infrastructure. So you're looking at the land. Like in the beginning, most persons would look at Lekki and all they would see would just be bush. Like, why should I put my money here? All I can see in this place is just bush. Okay, that's on one side. Okay, and then as you move on, you begin to realize that okay, infrastructure is coming up. Okay, and at this phase, this is the emerging market. Infrastructure is not coming up. You're not having road like the Lekki Ekpe Expressway. You're not having other infrastructure coming in. Bridges are coming in, connecting different parts of the cities together, and the cities beginning to make sense, and the value of land is going up. Land that you would have bought for 1 million maybe 2 3 years ago is now being sold for 5 to 7 million naira, and you're wondering what's happening. Is because infrastructure is not coming in. And one thing about the emerging market is, aside infrastructure, population start growing. Okay, most people start looking at it like, okay, I think I can move to this place because houses are cheaper here, or there are industries here, there are companies are opening up here, like what we saw in the early 2020s, where Dangote refinery kicked up, or even during its construction phase, people started moving towards the Ibejuleki Ekpeazis of Lagos because people understand that okay, it's cheaper here, and this is where the future is coming to, and persons rush to the future to wait for every other person to come and meet them there. Okay, and at this phase, you start having high in demand in terms of residential properties. Okay, high demand in terms of residential properties. People start demanding for properties. Oh, I want houses, and then rents start going up. Okay, this is the emerging phase. Okay, at this point, if you have a land, it's easy to sell. But in the frontier market, the beginning, the pioneer market, okay, you could have a land and selling it will be problem. But in the emerging phase, you could have a land and within just few weeks the land is sold. Okay, so at this point developers start entering aggressively into the area. You start wondering, this real estate company, that real estate company, is it that everybody's doing real estate now? Because the market is emerging, people are coming in, people are rushing to take advantage of it. Okay, the good thing about this phase is that this phase was between the year 2005 to the year, I would say, 2016. If we're looking at Lagos now, between 2005 20, between that 10 11 years period, okay, the market was emerging. People start hearing of a place called Lekki. Oh, there's a place called Chevron. Oh, all these places start coming up, and values, of course, appreciated rapidly, and more persons keyed into that market. And then going forward, you start realizing the developing market. Now, developing market is when development is now visible. Everybody now understands that this place is the next big thing. And at this phase, a lot of persons start regretting, if I had known, I saw this land at 1 million naira. I saw this land at 2 million naira. I saw this land at 5 million naira. At this developing phase, we saw it in 2020, 2021. Okay, you remember I said around 2005 to 2016 was when the emerging market was in Lagos. Okay, and this was when people like Dangote has acquired land for his refinery. Refinery is coming up gradually 2018, 2019, 2020. At this developing phase, those land people bought for 500,000, 1 million naira, 2 million, are now being sold for 30 million, 40 million, 50 million naira, because now massive development is coming in. Okay, now you start having estates, service estates are coming in because industrial complexes are all around, schools are coming in, hospitals are coming in, and people are beginning to see that, oh, we can truly live here because we have hospital here, we have police station, we have schools, probably we have a fire station, we have hotels, filling station, everything we need, and even a market, everything we need to live our life is here, so we can move to this place, and this place start developing even more rapidly. Okay, I'll talk about Abuja and why you should key into Abuja. But for now, I want you to really pay attention to this story regarding Lagos because every one of us can see how this transformation took place. Okay, now infrastructure is not significant. Major roads are happening, estates are coming up, prime locations are coming up, recreational activities are coming up. Okay, and then there's competitions among buyers. Okay, while you're looking to buy for, let's say, 30 million, another person is ready to drop 40 million to collect that property. While you're looking to rent a property for maybe 5 million, another man is telling the landlord, I can pay 7 million. Let me just move into this place. At this point, the law of demand and supply kick in, and you start seeing price going up, and people start complaining, what is this now? It's not just land, it's not this, because you missed out the frontier phase, you missed out in the emerging market, and this developing market, you are also missing out. And most persons start having a very wrong ideology at this phase. People start believing that it has passed. Let me just go and look for something else. Okay, and this is where a lot of persons missed it because the market has not yet matured. If you entered in the developing phase, believe me, it is still, you stay entering it at the right time. The next phase is the maturity phase, when the market has matured. You can see this in places like Ikoyi, even in Lekki, and in a lot of places in Lagos already. Okay, because the market have matured. At this point, you can hardly find a piece of land, vast piece of land, hectares of land to buy, or for a single development. At this point, people start buying already existing neighborhood, demolishing them, and bringing up new structures. At this point, people start buying houses to bring them down and build their own house. At this point, JV start coming in. A lot of people, I have this land, I'm looking for somebody to develop, and all of these things are coming in. This is because this is now the maturity market, okay? And of course, people are buying existing buildings, demolishing JVs, and all these things are coming up, and maturity market explode. And another great thing is that at this point, there's already all the infrastructure you need. So infrastructure is not even what you need to sell. Okay, what you need to sell is not even, you don't need to talk about infrastructure to sell to a client at this point. You also don't need to tell the client, oh, this place here, everybody knows the place now, everybody knows the location, everybody knows Lekki, everybody knows Ikoyi. Okay, this point now, what people often buy is now legacy. People often buy pride, people often buy identity. People, oh, I want to buy a place in Ikoyi because I want to be seen as a billionaire. I want to buy a place in Banana Island because I want to be seen as a billionaire. Okay, now a lot of persons saw the maturity phase and then they missed out. Okay, but the good thing is that the maturity stage is not even the last phase, because you can still come in. Of course, property are 10 times, 100 times more expensive, but you can still come in maybe through JV or through any system, and you are in. Okay, well, where the whole thing, where you start accepting that yes, you've truly missed out, is the post-development stage. This phase, it's completely developed, and in many cases, property value stays at the same level or start coming down. Okay, that's why somebody who bought a piece of land in a fully developed area in Lagos and somebody who bought in a developing area in Lagos, you will observe that the person who bought in a developing area has done 100%, 200% before the person who bought in a already developed area will even see 50% appreciation. Okay, because that there's nothing you want to talk about it. Everybody has seen all the infrastructure, everything is already in place. Okay, now Lagos has come, Lagos has done a whole lot, and a lot of persons have missed out on what Lagos has to offer. The good news is that Abuja is the next big thing. The Abuja market started kicking in from the early 2020s, started coming up, but 2023 Abuja market started picking up very fast. 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026, it's now we now understand where the market is going. And if you're somebody you're just looking at and say, oh, I'm going to invest next year, I'm going to invest next year, 2 years time, 3 years time, 5 years time, the time you open your eyes and say, yes, I'm ready to invest, the Abuja market would have got into the post-development phase. Okay, you'll be like, no, it's not possible. Abuja has a lot of land. No, it's very, very possible. It's possible in every city. Okay, Abuja has a lot of land. Yes, no doubt. But we're already seeing that happen in places like Asokoro. We're already seeing that happen in Mitama. Okay, and persons have missed out on those places, and new areas are coming up. People are still missing out. Okay, we have the emerging markets are coming up in Guzape. I remember, let's use Guzape as a case study. During the frontier phase, somebody told me he got a land in Guzape and later sold it for 400,000 naira. 400,000 naira because he didn't see any use for it. Okay, now that was because that was the frontier market. Nobody was seeing the possibility of this place. Okay, and then in the emerging market, the place was starting to come up. Oh, FHA has an estate there and it's looking like it's going to work, and persons are keen in. And then after the emerging market, developing market started. Guzape started developing. Okay, people started understanding that I don't need to live in Asokoro, I can live in Guzape and still feel among. And during that emerging market of Guzape, people were calling it Asokoro extension, Asokoro 2. Okay, most persons didn't want to identify with Guzape. Most persons didn't want to say I live in Guzape. So they call it another name. But when Guzape entered the development stage, everybody started claiming, oh, I live in Guzape, I live in Guzape, I live in Guzape. Okay, and right now, of course, land that people, the land those guys sold for 400,000 is worth over 500 to 1 billion naira as of today's market. Okay, so the city has entered a developing stage in terms of using Guzape now as a case study. Now, there's one part of the city that people are not looking at, and it is currently at the emerging phase. It has not even entered the development phase, not to talk of the maturity phase or the post-development phase. And that part of Abuja is the airport road. Now, in fact, I'm not even telling you to come and get properties from us. You can buy from any company. But if you're going to buy property in Abuja right now, forget about any other location. Buy property on the airport road. If you can't see more than the government, ECOWAS regional headquarters is on the airport road. There are universities on the airport road. Some of the biggest hospitals are on the airport road. A lot of international bodies, they're having their properties on the airport road. Okay, Centenary City is on the airport road. There are a whole lot of projects. I'm talking about futuristic real estate development, not the regular just buy a house and stay. They are all coming on the airport road. And on that same airport road, we have the O2 Prestige, the O2 Exclusive, and the O2 Exclusive Phase 3, which is currently, the O2 Exclusive Phase 3 is currently on its frontier phase, okay? It's currently on its pioneer phase. And a lot of persons who keyed into O2 Exclusive, the Phase 1, when it was on its pioneer phase, are looking at 250% appreciation in 1 year. In 1 year, 2025 to 2026, 250% appreciation. This part of the city is going to explode. There is no doubt. The truth is, you can say, oh, I don't want to buy. Don't buy. At the end of the day, when you're coming back in the next 1 year, 2 years, you see that everybody who bought into the airport road are like the people who bought into Lekki in 2016. Everybody. And of course, if you want more details, you could always reach out to us, and we can give you more details regarding O2 Exclusive Phase 3. But even if you say, I don't want to buy from this guy, I don't like his face, look for any company at all and get a property. Thank you very much, and see you at the top.